Your doctor says your testosterone is low, but nobody told you why. Nobody explained what is happening inside the cells that make testosterone. Nobody told you that inflammation gets there first, before the fatigue, before the low drive, before the mood shifts and the muscle loss and the feeling that something is quietly switching off inside you. Inflammation gets there first. Welcome to CellFresco. One belief drives everything we do here. Every cell has a healing food. Today we are going inside the male hormonal system. Not to your blood test, not to your hormone panel, but to the cells that produce, protect, and respond to testosterone. 3 cellular problems, 3 healing foods, what to eliminate, a daily protocol, and a CellFresco bonus that goes beyond food. Now the story. Your male hormonal system depends on 3 types of cells that matter most to this story. The first are Leydig cells. Think of them as the manufacturing team deep inside the testes. Their only job is to receive a signal from the brain and convert cholesterol into testosterone. When Leydig cells are healthy and receiving clean signals, testosterone production flows. The second are endothelial cells. Think of them as the lining of every blood vessel that delivers oxygen, nutrients, and repair materials to your reproductive tissue. Blood flow is not simply about circulation. Blood flow is how every tissue receives instructions, oxygen, and the materials it needs to function. When endothelial cells are inflamed, blood flow drops, delivery slows, the manufacturing team receives less of what it needs. The third are hypothalamic neurons. Think of them as the signal tower at the top of the system. The hypothalamus sends a message to the pituitary sends a message to the testes respond. This is the HPG axis, the hormonal production line. In a healthy male system, these 3 work in perfect sequence. Signal tower fires, blood flow delivers, manufacturing team produces. But when inflammation enters the system, the signal gets corrupted. Every meal you eat is sending instructions to these cells. Some instructions support the signal, others interrupt it. Problem 1. Your Leydig cells are inflamed, and the manufacturing line has slowed. Leydig cells are exquisitely sensitive. They do not just respond to hormonal signals. They respond to everything arriving in the bloodstream. Research shows that pro-inflammatory cytokines, inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha and IL-1-beta, directly suppress Leydig cell testosterone synthesis. These cytokines reduce the expression of star protein, a transport molecule that moves cholesterol into the mitochondria of Leydig cells. Without cholesterol entering the mitochondria, the manufacturing line stops. The trucks arrive with the raw material, the workers are waiting, but the factory door never opens. Fatigue is not the problem, it is the message your Leydig cells are sending back to you. The healing food, pomegranate. Pomegranate does not force testosterone production. Pomegranate tells your Leydig cells, the inflammation has cleared. The factory door is open again. Research examining pomegranate juice in healthy men over 2 weeks showed measurable increases in salivary testosterone, alongside significant reductions in blood pressure and improvements in mood. Separate research that pomegranate extract supplementation was associated with reduced testicular oxidative stress and improved testosterone levels in animal models of inflammation. The mechanism that researchers point to involves the L-agitanin compounds in pomegranate, which appear to reduce inflammatory signaling around Leydig cells and support testicular blood flow through nitric oxide pathways. Think of pomegranate as clearing the interference around your manufacturing team. Your action: 1 glass of pure pomegranate juice every day, no added sugar, or 100 grams of pomegranate seeds. Every bite you eat is sending instructions to your Leydig cells. Pomegranate sends a signal of production. Problem 2. Your endothelial cells are inflamed and blood flow to reproductive tissue has dropped. Blood flow is not just about the heart. Every cell in your body depends on blood flow, including the cells that produce testosterone, including the tissue that requires blood flow to function during sexual activity. Research shows that endothelial dysfunction is the primary underlying mechanism behind reduced erectile function in men without structural abnormalities. The endothelium produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the signal that tells smooth muscle to relax. That tells blood vessels to dilate. That enables blood to reach the tissue that needs it. When endothelial cells are inflamed, nitric oxide production drops. The signal does not arrive. The blood vessel does not dilate. The tissue does not receive what it needs. Sometimes the focus turns immediately to psychological causes. While inflammation inside the blood vessels may also be playing an important role, reduced blood flow is not the problem. It is the message your endothelial cells are sending back to you. The healing food, dark chocolate. Not a treat, not an indulgence. Dark chocolate tells your endothelial cells, relax, dilate. let the blood through. The flavonols in high-quality dark chocolate, specifically epicatechin, appear to directly stimulate eNOS activity. eNOS is the enzyme that produces nitric oxide inside endothelial cells. Research that cocoa flavonols were associated with measurably improved endothelial function and flow-mediated dilation in controlled human trials. Your action: 15 to 20 grams of dark chocolate daily. Minimum 70% cocoa. No milk chocolate. The milk protein appears to reduce flavonol absorption. Every meal sends another instruction. Dark chocolate sends a signal of flow. Problem 3. Your hypothalamus is receiving inflammatory noise, and the signal tower is misfiring. The HPG axis is one of the most sophisticated communication systems in the human body. Hypothalamus signals pituitary. Pituitary signals testes. Testes produce testosterone. Testosterone signals back to the hypothalamus. A perfect feedback loop until inflammation enters the brain. Research shows that neuroinflammation, specifically microglial activation in the hypothalamus, disrupts GnRH pulse frequency. GnRH is the hormone the hypothalamus sends to start the entire production sequence. When GnRH pulses become irregular, LH drops. When LH drops, Leydig cells receive fewer instructions. When Leydig cells receive fewer instructions, testosterone falls. Low motivation is not the problem. It is the message your hypothalamic neurons are sending back to you. The healing food. Walnuts. Walnuts do not just support brain health. Walnuts tell your hypothalamus, quiet the noise, the signal can come through now. Walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, the plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that the brain uses to support its anti-inflammatory environment. Research shows that walnut consumption was associated with reduced inflammatory markers in brain tissue. Walnuts appear to support a healthier inflammatory environment in the brain, which may help the signaling pathways involved in hormonal regulation function more effectively. The hypothalamus is not just a hormone control center, it is a biological receiver. And inflammation is static on the line. Walnuts help clear that static. Your action: a small handful of walnuts every day. 7 to 10 whole walnuts, eaten as they are or added to meals. Every choice sends another cellular signal. Walnuts send a signal of clarity. The protocol: 3 foods, 3 signals, 1 stronger hormonal system. Pomegranate tells your Leydig cells the inflammation has cleared. The factory door is open. Production can begin again. Dark chocolate tells your endothelial cells to relax and dilate, to let blood reach the tissue that depends on it, to produce the nitric oxide that the whole system requires. Walnuts tell your hypothalamus to quiet the inflammatory noise, to let the GnRH signal through clean, to restart the conversation at the top of the production line. What to eliminate? 3 inputs that corrupt the signal before food can even begin to help. Alcohol. Research is consistent here. Alcohol is directly toxic to Leydig cells. Even moderate regular consumption appears to reduce testosterone synthesis and increase the conversion of testosterone to estrogen in the liver. The Leydig cells cannot speak clearly when alcohol is constantly interrupting. Sugar. Chronic high blood sugar drives visceral fat accumulation. Visceral fat is hormonally active. It produces aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. The more visceral fat, the louder the aromatase signal, the quieter the testosterone. Processed oils. The excess omega-6 in processed vegetable oils drives systemic inflammation through the arachidonic acid pathway. Endothelial cells inflamed by excess omega-6 cannot produce the nitric oxide the system depends on. CellFresco bonus. 1 extra cellular signal. Today the bonus is resistance training, not for muscle, not for appearance. For your Leydig cells, research shows that resistance training, specifically compound movements like squats, deadlifts, and presses, was associated with acute and chronic increases in testosterone levels in men. The mechanism is direct. Mechanical stress on muscle tissue sends a signal through the nervous system to the hypothalamus. GnRH pulses increase. LH increases. Leydig cells receive stronger instructions. Heavy compound movement speaks directly to your hormonal signal tower. Your action: 3 resistance training sessions per week. Focus on compound movements. Squats, deadlifts, rows, press. These produce the strongest hormonal signal. Safety note: if you have existing musculoskeletal conditions, begin with lighter loads and build gradually. The signal works at any intensity when the movement is consistent. And remember this: every training session is not just exercise, every training session is another cellular signal. The closing. You came here because something has changed. The energy is not what it was. The drive is not what it was. The body is not responding the way it used to. And somewhere underneath all of that, a quiet question. Is this just aging? But here is what CellFresco wants you to understand. Aging does not explain inflamed Leydig cells. Aging does not explain endothelial cells that have stopped producing nitric oxide. Aging does not explain a hypothalamus receiving inflammatory noise where a clean signal should be. Inflammation explains those things. And inflammation responds to food. Pomegranate is not a fruit. It is a message to your Leydig cells. Dark chocolate is not a treat. It is a signal to your blood vessels. Walnuts are not a snack. They are a frequency sent to your hypothalamus. Food is a language. Every meal is a message. Every cell is listening. Every bite is a conversation with your cells. Every habit sends another cellular signal. Every day is another opportunity to change the conversation. Every cell has a healing food. If this episode changed how you understand what is happening inside your body, subscribe to CellFresco. Every week we go deeper into the cellular conversations your symptoms have been trying to start. Next time on CellFresco, the hidden inflammation that women carry silently, the cellular story your cycle has been trying to tell you. Keep healing, keep thriving.